St. Louis was working hard during the war, and the factories were going 24 hours a day. There just wasn't much to buy. We were making tanks and canteens, not cars and washing machines. Armies had to be moved, so there were limits on gasoline and rubber tires at home. Armies had to be fed, and so meat, sugar, and butter were rationed. St. Louis was making plenty of shoes and clothing in its factories, but not much was ending up in the downtown department stores. But even with all this, the home front wasn't really a place of sacrifice and deprivation, more a place of inconvenience and adaptation.
Shoes were rationed. You could only have 3 pairs of shoes a year. You better make up your mind as to what you wanted. You didn't have much choice out there. If you made a mistake, then you had to keep them and wait until the next coupon was due.
And so children wore shoes, and they would wear them, and they'd need repair. So the shoe repair business, in fact, the shoe repair business of While You Wait became a very, very important part of our life that wasn't there before. As far as food is concerned, we had adequate amounts of food. No one really ever suffered from shortages, at least that I was aware of.
Seems to me if I was one of them big fellas in Washington, I'd just set me down and do a bit of thinking. Try to figure out some system to spread the food all over thin so it'll cover more. See what I mean? Because I'm warning you, that's all you're going to get. That's all I can give you. No more. Do you hear me? No more. From now on, it's up to you.
They heard him in Washington and worked out a system to make the food go around, a plan to see to it that everyone gets an equal share of what there is. That plan is called rationing.
I remember quite a few of those days that we didn't have meat on the table. I would do the shopping, and at that time we would have to change our clothes from play clothes to dress clothes, and then I would walk the 8 blocks to Seeloff Market, and I would stand in line. Sometimes it would be like a half a day, 3/4 of a day, and you would wait until you got your turn, and then you'd have to use your rationing stamps.
I always felt that when I stood in line and got up to where you're supposed to get, everything was gone. And that was kind of a disaster for me. If I wanted bacon, that's the last pound of bacon I would hear.
So here's a plan that's fair and square. Everybody gets their share. No more griping anywhere. Get the point, Mrs. Brown. One for you and...
My husband liked hot bread, and I made biscuits every day, some kind of hot bread. But Lord went into biscuits making, and you could not get it. I don't know what kind of oil he was able to obtain from the grocery store, but he worked out a recipe over a period of time where he made a beautiful biscuit, better than I did.
The biggest sacrifice for me was bubble gum. We weren't able to get bubble gum.
To these GIs, sugar was far more than a mere sweetening substance that went into the rations they ate. Wartime demands brought a challenge to the scientist. He proved that sugar could be used in the manufacture of synthetic tires and other parts of this bomber. And sugar's most important byproduct, molasses, went into the production of the industrial alcohol used in the manufacture of these bombs.
My mother could always get sugar. If she wanted sugar for canning, she would trade maybe some other stamps that we didn't need at the time to get her sugar and then do her canning.
So we spent very wisely our money and our stamps, and the same way with gas.
When gasoline was rationed, we never tried to cheat. We never tried to black market. We did a lot of walking.
We would go over to visit my mother's relatives over in Illinois, so you had to sort of save your gasoline so that you could do things like that, and you didn't take joy rides all over the place. Of course, back then I thought Lindbergh was the edge of the earth. If you went past Lindbergh, you would drop off into oblivion.
It's up to you, mister. What do you say? It's up to you, can fix that shoe and you can wear it. And you can cut down food and you can share it. Mister, sister, it's up to you.
There were not shortages up and down the economy. There was never food. It was never in fundamentally short supply. However, the discipline of rationing was a reminder that war was a serious business, and also kind of a guarantee that excess consumption wouldn't somehow or other interfere with production schedules, but also a guarantee that a form of social equality would be maintained during the war.
Nylon stockings were one of the first things that were put on the can't have list. Someone would say, oh, they're going to have a sale down at Famous or something starting at such and such a time. Well, working we couldn't get off, but as soon as noon came, everybody was flying downtown on the bus so that they could go to Famous, and women would be fighting over these stockings down there. Leg makeup started to come in, and they would draw a line up the back of their leg to simulate a seam. The only thing is that when it got really warm, the leg makeup would run a little bit, and then it didn't look so good either.
They got this horrible brown stuff and then left it on all the chairs or wherever they were. It was awful. And people never thought of anything different about that, you know. I mean, they just took it for granted. We have to take care of it, you know. Well, they didn't crab too much.
Because it's a very simple proposition. If we do, they don't. Remember what the farmer said? It's up to you.
It was an experience that everyone should have grown in. Some people did not. Some people didn't look at the positive side of how this is something we're going to overcome. Any war effort that was going on, we took part in. Not everyone did that.
And make it go around. It's up to you to do it if it's done. Yes, it's up to you to do it if it's done.